Hello and welcome to the Movie Therapy Channel. We are Jim and Sam, and this is the show where we like to give you our rating first and then talk about the things we did and did not like about the movie we just saw. Today's movie is Rocketman. We'll also be seeing Aladdin and Brightburn this week. So, Sam, Rocketman, saw an early screening of it, comes out next week. We've already seen it. So, rating first. 3, 2, 1. See it.
Wait. See it.
Who is that?
I was going to say the title of the movie for some reason. I was saying Rocketman. See it. Oh, that's embarrassing. All right. Yes. I'm okay. It's been a long day. I'm okay. All right. See it. See it, as you do when you're very excited about a movie.
So Rocketman, this is the Elton John biopic. Now, if you are worried that this wasn't going to go into Elton John's personal life that much, have no fears. This goes deep into Elton John's life. It's much more about Elton John's life than his career.
Else. Yeah.
So whereas Bohemian Rhapsody was very much about Queen and the band and didn't dive too much into Freddie Mercury, this is very much about Elton John and what made Elton John Elton John. Not the artist that we essentially made all the music, but Elton John the person.
Yes.
So Sam, just to kick us off, what are some of the things that you liked and were surprised about this film?
Well, first of all, I wasn't super familiar with Elton John. I don't really listen to his music, but you don't need to know really who Elton John is to be able to enjoy this movie. Everyone knows who Elton John is, but like if you're not super familiar with him and his work, this is just a movie that you can go in and purely enjoy on the story that it tells. I was blown away by just his singing. What's his name?
Taron Egerton.
His singing was phenomenal and so nice to listen to. It was so good to listen to him sing, and the emotions that he went throughout the entire story, and in the end, ultimately just finding his way to love himself. Like that was what the story was about, and it really is about just him. Like I didn't really feel like it was about his music. I felt like it was about his life and how he became the person he was. And even though you have a lot of people who tell you can't be loved, he in the end ultimately found a way to love himself.
Yeah, it's very much about the struggle of a gay man in the entertainment industry in a time when that wasn't really accepted.
Yeah.
And they want him to hide it. They want to give him a fake girlfriend. But he doesn't want all that stuff. He just wants to be who he is. Now, the thing that surprised me the most about this is that this is a full-blown musical.
It was fun.
It was fun. I wasn't expecting. I was very happy that it was.
Yeah.
They maintain the reality of the Elton John story,
sure,
but they weave that in with these outrageous musical numbers that we get, and it's a lot of fun. Even the first one of the movie, when he's a little kid, I was like, oh.
Those boys could sing.
This is what we're doing. And I was pleasantly surprised. And the whole movie is pretty much like that throughout the whole movie. I think the second half, maybe a few less musical numbers in the second half when we get really into Elton John's drug addictions.
Yeah.
But even then, everything in the first half leading up to essentially I don't know if he had a fall, but essentially his personal struggle, the fall of his addiction, everything leading up to that is sort of whimsical and fun. And then like when the seriousness happens, they take a step back and just let the story tell itself.
Right.
So what was your favorite scene?
I would have to say when, as a young boy, he's singing in a bar, and it transitioned from him as a boy, and then there's a scene where he transitions into being an adult.
You stole mine. That's what I said.
Well, like, when that guy asked me...
You might see us on TV, by the way, and you might see Sam singing Rocketman by herself.
Yeah, because you wouldn't sing it. You were so aggressive when you were saying the word. You were like, long, long. You were so aggressive. So aggressive. Like, you had to stop.
Part of the early screening was at the end, they were pulling people aside, asking them, like, on camera, like, what they thought of the movie and stuff. And me and Sam, we did one of those.
Well, I really didn't want to.
So
I really did not want to.
So you might see us on TV. But anyways, that was my favorite scene. It's the Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting scene. It is awesome. It is one of the more, it's outside of the Dodger Stadium scene.
Dodger Stadium was really cool.
The Dodger Stadium scene is awesome. Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting is probably one of the most musical-esque sequences in the movie. Like you said, it's the one where he starts as a kid, and then he busts through the door, and then he's an adult, and then he like goes through a carnival, and there's like all this stylistic fighting and stuff, and him dancing around. It's a lot of fun. That is hands down my favorite scene of the movie. So with all that said, Sam, is there anything about this movie that you didn't like?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. What didn't I like, Jim? I don't know.
It's a really, really good film.
It is really good.
I'd say my only dislike might be the fact that once we do get pretty heavy into the drugs and alcohol side of things, that we do kind of take a step back away from the musical numbers that were established. I'd have to see it again to really... It's been a couple of days since we have seen it. I have to remember if there are some musical numbers in that, sort of in the last act of the film.
I think so, because doesn't he have a fight with his boyfriend in one act and they're like fighting? Or no? No, there is, but he goes to the hospital.
Yes, there is a hospital sequence.
That was nice. I mean, that was a good one.
Okay. Anyways, it's a nice sequence. I do agree with you. That is a nice one towards the back half. One of the other things I actually do really like about this movie is that whereas Bohemian Rhapsody takes the music you know and essentially just plays the music you know, with this film Rocketman, they're essentially doing reprises of Elton John's song. So like when you hear Rocketman in this, it's not the Rocketman you know, it's a different variation of Rocketman. Probably the closest one that we get is Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. But like when you hear Tiny Dancer is a reprise of the one that we know. It's different in this film. So it is worth the experience to go see this if you're a fan of Elton John, because the music is so different in this from the versions that you know. It warrants seeing them.
Yeah.
So I recognize that because I'm an Elton John fan. I've seen him in concert. He's great in concert. He closes it out with The Lion King. Good stuff. I was kind of hoping we'd get some Lion King stuff in this, because that's like one of the heights. That's one of the things that Elton John's most famous for. Unfortunately, they don't touch on that in this film. That's right. Maybe they'll make a sequel. I'll take a Rocketman Part 2. Maybe they'll make one. Maybe they'll make a sequel called Tiny Dancer.
What?
Maybe they'll make a sequel called Tiny Dancer.
Is that one of his songs?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know what you said. I was very confused. I thought
Rocketman, Tiny Dancer.
I thought you said Tidy Dancer, so I was very confused.
He's a tidy man. He likes to be clean. So those are essentially my thoughts on this film.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
If you're a fan of Elton John, highly recommend this. If you just like good biopics, this is a great one to see. If you're not a fan of Elton John, I don't know. I mean, maybe you'll like it. Maybe you should be able to like the movie as it is.
Yeah.
The music I do feel is different enough from what Elton John has done to where it's just pleasant on its own.
Yeah.
So that's it for me.
That's it for me.
So we have Aladdin we're seeing tomorrow, and we have Brightburn on Friday. So if you liked this show, like and subscribe to see more and to keep up with all of our other shows. All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time.